Next year, we've got to get to somebody much better than Clay Matthews Sr.
Oh,
And that is the one,
Junior.
the only King James, LeBron James, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for number 1 on the all-time scoring list in the NBA last night. What an incredible number to get up to, 38,390 and counting for LeBron. Came on the scene and everyone crowned him as the chosen one, and he eventually did get to number 1 in scoring. So I guess I want to get your thoughts on somebody actually passing Kareem, because as we're watching the Jordan era, he couldn't even do it, and he was one of the greatest players we've ever seen. So Eric, your thoughts on LeBron James now at the number 1 spot?
Well, and he obviously was talked about at a very young age, and you could see, and I was watching a video of him when he was in high school and stuff like that, and you could just see the determination in his eyes that he wanted to go to the NBA. He wanted to be great. He wanted to be one of the best, if not the best of all time. Is he though? You look at guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan. These guys played on teams that also had other stars that were tremendous scorers. When he was in Cleveland, he was the show. When he went to Miami, he shared it with Bosh and Wade. When he got out to LA, it was him.
Anthony
again.
Davis.
So,
Anthony Davis, yeah.
Well, yeah, but for the most part, it was all LeBron. I'm going to say, yeah, he's one of the greatest. I still think Michael Jordan.
Okay. So
because he took basketball to a new level. And I'm going to say this, and I said this about other players. Michael Jordan was like a Wayne Gretzky. He made everybody else on the floor better. He made Steve Kerr better. He made John Paxson better. He made Bill Cartwright better. Granted, he had Scottie Pippen, and he made B.J. Armstrong. I mean, you can go right down the list.
Yeah.
Because so much attention was drawn to Michael Jordan, he could dish it off. Now these guys are scoring. They benefited from Michael being on the floor, and I think that's why I still put Michael Jordan first on the list.
Perfect. All right, you wrapped all of that up. I love that. Tim, your thoughts on LeBron passing Kareem, and then I guess just roll it right into, who is your NBA GOAT?
It was interesting. I saw an interview with King James last week, and they were asking him, when you were starting out in high school and you looked to your career in the NBA, what were you thinking? And he said, look, I want to lead the league in assists. I want to lead the league in rebounds and steals. And I want to score some points. But he said, at no time did I ever think that I wanted to be the NBA scoring leader. I just wanted to make myself better and my teammates better. And so he showed a little bit of humility there. I think he's surprised as anybody else that scoring title fell. Here's the thing about the whole GOAT thing. To me, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It is so difficult to compare people from different eras. The NBA of the 80s was so much different than the 90s and the 2000s. I look back, when I just go back, I think Magic and Bird were two of the best players that I have ever seen. And you actually watching those two players, to me, they'd be up on the Mount Rushmore. Is LeBron James the GOAT for the current generation, the way the style is? Absolutely. Did he really change the game the way a Michael Jordan did the way Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did the way that Westfall did the way that Oscar Robertson did? I don't think so. I think he is a dominant player. I think he is a tremendous scorer. He does make players on his team better. Is he the GOAT of all time? I'm just going to stop short there. I don't know whether it's even Michael Jordan, but in my era, from where I go, from probably when I started watching the NBA to where you had late 70s with Julius Erving to now, the best player that I saw was Michael Jordan. And I know people out there are going to say, get off my lawn. You and Eric are old guys. I'm just trying to compare what I have seen. Is LeBron James great now? Absolutely. Is he maybe one of the top 5-6 players? Absolutely. I'm not ready to crown him yet, though.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of watching both of their careers, and it has been spectacular. LeBron, for me, is the best statistical basketball player of all time. Just all the regular season stuff and this scoring record, and then he is like number one in just about almost every postseason category as far as scoring and all of the stats and games played, wins, all of that. I mean, he has just been phenomenal and the longevity. But for me, Michael Jordan will always be my greatest basketball player of all time. Now, granted,
Chad, Tim makes an excellent point, too, that the style of play is so different. I mean, you watch a game now, and a guy breathes on somebody driving down the lane, and it's a foul. You go back and watch when the Bulls and Pistons played.
Yeah.
If blood wasn't drawn, there was no foul. I mean, you talk about just an all-out brawl when these two teams would play. Mm-hmm. I mean, the game was so much different than it was really survival of the fittest when it comes to back in the Pistons and Bulls days.
And we saw that in the documentary. Jordan talked about that. The Pistons talked about that. That documentary The Last Dance was great. It was phenomenal. Yes. We put up another informal poll on Instagram to see how people felt. 51% chose Michael Jordan as their GOAT. 36 chose LeBron, and 13 chose the other category. So it was nowhere near unanimous. And again, it's still up for debate. And LeBron will keep going. He has a chance potentially to get to 40,000 points if he stays healthy and keeps playing. I do want to point one thing out before we close the show. 3-pointers made. LeBron, 2,237 3-pointers made to get to this mark. Kareem, 1 3-pointer made in his entire career of basketball. So quite a disparity there of scoring opportunities for the two of them.